Rob, let's go back to the NBA and Magic Johnson, the great Magic Johnson, who did bring LeBron to LA. And one thing I thought, Rob, as the Lakers were celebrating and, winning their championship, their 17th championship, the fourth one for LeBron James, was, man, part of me, it ran through my mind, man, Magic could have just stayed. Because that trade would have happened. Because it was largely driven by, Rich Paul, LeBron's agent, Anthony Davis's agent. It would have happened.
I don't think that was it. I mean, Magic will
no,
probably
it wasn't
never,
just that. But I'm just saying he could have celebrated as, help bringing him a championship.
I think when he wanted to fire Luke Walton and Jeannie Buss put the kibosh on that, I think that's when Magic just realized, I'm not running this team. And I can't, I'm supposed to be making these decisions. And, you're so caught up on Luke Walton and your personal relationship with him or whatever. And I think that because he quit abruptly, Chris. When you quit like that.
I agree with you.
I
agree. And
that's the only way that you would walk down and just quit and call an impromptu press conference?
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm just saying, if he had stayed, he would be celebrated as the guy that put this team together. And look, LeBron clearly wanted to be in LA. Would he have gone there with or without Magic? I guess probably. I don't know for sure. But I do know this. Magic taking over the helm, the front office, gave the Lakers the credibility, regained their credibility in LeBron's eyes. Because Jim Buss had run them into the ground. Jim Buss Jr. or Jim Buss. And they were reeling. And bringing in Magic, a guy that LeBron respects, and obviously the guy LeBron met with that night in free agency, gave them the credibility where LeBron could say, I'll go there. Or, he could believe enough in them. And I agree. I mean, I'm not saying Magic would have been the one necessarily pulling the strings, but he would have ended up getting the credit. But he obviously gets enough accolades as it is. So anyway, he was on First Take, Rob, and he talked about the GOAT conversation and where LeBron is in that with Michael Jordan. Here he is. Oh, we don't have the sound. My bad. But basically, Rob, you know what he said. He said that if LeBron wins one more, that he will be right there with Jordan as the GOAT. I got the direct quote. I'm going to read it to you. Here he goes. Magic Johnson on the GOAT discussion. LeBron James is well on his way. If he wins one more championship, Michael and him are going to be right there together. If he gets that next championship, it's going to be hard not to say he's right there with MJ. I said the next one, which will be 5 for LeBron, because with 6 for Jordan and 4 for LeBron right now, it's hard to say he's overtaken Michael at 4 championships. I think once he wins a 5th and repeats, meaning they win it next year, the key word is repeat. That's a good argument right there. So he's saying if LeBron wins next year, that, he didn't say definitively be the GOAT, but he said he's right there with MJ. Your thoughts?
He said nothing. Magic gave you an empty quote filled with nothing. He didn't tell you anything because you just said it and you had to qualify it because he didn't make it clear. What does right there mean? What does that mean? And if he was and if I was on that show, I would have said, Magic, what do you mean? What does that mean? Will he be the GOAT if he wins a 5th? And what about the 6 losses? Do that count in? Does that just the 5 wins matter, or does 6 losses factor in? What does right there mean? What? It doesn't mean anything to me.
There's a lot of double talk going on.
It's hemming and hawing because he doesn't want to make LeBron upset. He's still got to deal with Michael or whatever. So it's a lot of double talk, and this is why. A lot of times you have problems when you ask athletes to critique each other because they're in bed with too many people. So they're not going to give you an honest take. Right. They're not.
I said it, Rob, on the Herd last week, and Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson seconded it. They've been saying, in the last few games of the playoffs, they were saying LeBron James has had the greatest career of any player ever. And so I went on Colin's show, and he asked me about that. I said, what is that?
Nothing.
I said, what does that mean? If you've had the greatest career,
you're the GOAT.
You're the greatest player. Yes. So, and I said this. I said, how can you say that LeBron James has had a better career than Michael Jordan? Is 6 titles better or is 4?
Forget about anything else.
Is 10 years leading the league in scoring better or is 1? Is 9 all-defensive teams better or is 6? Is 5 MVP awards better or is 4? And it's building a franchise from nothing.
The Bulls were garbage.
A joke into a dynasty better or is going to a few different places? Is three-peating twice when only one other duo, Shaq and Kobe, have done it in the last 54 years, and you did it by yourself twice with Scottie Pippen? Is that better, or is repeating once better?
Or being in Cleveland 11 years and winning 1 championship?
And look, I get the longevity argument. That's God. Obviously, that's LeBron. And look, it's more than longevity. He's still in his prime. I mean, we presume he's at the tail end, but he's still balling out. I mean, he's playing great. And that longevity argument, the length of time he was excellent, okay, we get that. The leading 3 different franchises to the championship, we get that. That is great. But when you say, kind of imply, well, Michael Jordan's the GOAT, but LeBron's had a better career, as you said, Rob, it's double talk.
It's nothing.
It's flapdoodle. It's balderdash, poppycock. I mean, say it.
They don't want to say it because, see, this is the problem. If LeBron wasn't still playing, they would, right now, Chris, they would say Michael Jordan. But LeBron is still playing, and they feel like, well, I'm doing the games. I'm going to have access to him. I don't want him to shut me out. I don't want him to talk to ABC or ESPN and say I shouldn't be on the broadcast. That's the problem. That's the problem. Seriously, guys, you guys can knock us all you want. The sports writers and the analysts and the people who are journalists who have gone to school for the training. Knock us all you want. We're more objective. Athletes can't be objective, the ex-athletes, because they're friends. They're buddies. Their agent knows the other guy's agent. They played AAU together. I don't know. Their kids play together. They can't be honest with you. Magic did double talk.
And look, if Jeff and Mark want to say LeBron's the GOAT, say it.
Say it.
There's an argument. I mean, I disagree. Rob would disagree. There's an argument, though. I could craft an argument for LeBron. And so
we
say
had
but don't
Channing
double
Frye,
talk, like you said.
Channing Frye coming on talking about 1A and 1B. What is that? we had to check him on that. Stop with the double talk. What are you afraid of? Really? LeBron's wrath? That's what it is.